All right, an addendum on the art theory of drawing with time. One of the main things that I left out was um, using the dexterity of your mind as opposed to the dexterity of your fingers as a way of grasping a tool and then expressing yourself. At classical times, drawing was an underpainting, it was a blueprint. Underneath all these great masters' paintings, you prepared to dive in fully by doing these guidelines, which was drawing, right? It was only until much later that drawing became an actual end expression, right? And then after that was no drawing, just paint coming, right? And now I'm building on that by saying that you have your mind as a drawing, as your blueprint before you engage into something. So in other words, you use your mind's parameters to guide yourself, right? So if you're going to make a brush stroke, you're not just obliterating the line and the drawing anymore. One step further, one step deeper, is to prepare yourself mentally, whether you state this to just yourself or maybe onto the canvas or in your subject matter and whatnot. Your underpainting is literally beneath you, inside of you, is under you, and you're expressing more fully yourself, more fully directly from yourself, because you're no longer taking the charcoal to the canvas to prepare yourself to express, right? You are, and there's so many ways to unpack that, but in reality, you are guiding, right? You are creating an underpainting because you are saying, I am going to abide by these rules, right? I'm going to set myself up and at the very least to know myself as I express. That's your drawing, actually. And that's your underpainting is a better way to put it. Underpainting. But it's nice to think of as a drawing, because then you are actually drawing with timing, you're drawing with neurons, you're drawing with your own synapses, right, which is when your brain cells react to certain stimuluses, whether it's dopamine or thoughts, ideas, the brains will start to all of the brains will start to react to them, trigger memories. I mean, this is the tip of the iceberg. The neurological complexity that you could get into is fascinating. Just even thinking about it for one moment just opens up Pandora's box, of course. Big surprise there, the human brain, the mind. But the fun part about it is we can talk about a little bit of just this new form of building on some sort of masters and the classical form of drawing. I really like that way of branching into metaphysical art, because abstraction has always kind of postured itself as speaking to something higher, but in a were absolutely. It doesn't take us to be able to explain something in order to actually know that it is doing something, right? And I'd be far from the first to be able to explain some sort of relationship between metaphysics and abstract art, but I really enjoy the idea of saying that knowing yourself in accordance with several parameters or sort of isometric, dexterity, you know, uh, is just, I think you get a lot of points spiritually for doing something like that too. Because that's just, and I really like it because you get to, you can grasp onto this idea that now that you know yourself, you have now created an underpainting. I think the really fun part about that is you start to become self-aware to another level, where you're not just self-aware of these small little synapses and things like that, but then now you have realized that you've presented yourself onto a canvas. Okay, so now you are looking at yourself doing things, and you are monitoring it, and then boom, you're going to agree to know yourself in that way, and then you are going to say, boom, I'm going to lay that down as a groundwork and as a framework for my expression. Now you are being self-aware in a way that is using a very large, vast viewpoint of yourself as being able to present yourself in a context within, without yourself, you are now removing yourself from yourself. You are utilizing your nature as a drawing. Got it? It's good shit.